everybody. Welcome to another Lead In with Lorne. So great to be hanging out with you and hopefully beautiful summer days wherever you are. Part of really this reinforcing and adding to this wonderful principle of connect before content and this complementary principle of being people first and reinforcing the idea about great, not perfect leadership and being a great peer as well is the idea of how we add to our listening repertoire around really actively listening. And of course, much of that happens verbal, but it's not new science around looking for nonverbal communication, what people have called, body language, or what I'd like to call the tells in other people. And of course, in a more recreational kind of, or even a business kind of a way, you'll see this in the great poker players, right? They can pick up the subtlest tells in their quote opponents around what their hands look like by the most faint, almost not visible kind of characteristics, but they study their opponents. But in this case, your colleagues and your team members hopefully are not opponents. They're your people that you deeply care about, ideally. And you also want to learn about their tells. And why that's so important is that think about what a tell may look like. It may be a straightening of the glasses, taking them off, polishing them. It could be a scratch of the head. People would tell me one of my tells is when I start doing this. It could be people's hands start to change, and it could be a licking of the lips. It could be any number of things that mean a certain kind of emotion is going on as something's being communicated. That's letting you know whether it's connecting with them, it's deflecting off of them, it's making them feel joyful, perhaps uncomfortable, whatever the emotion is. And so I'm just encouraging you, whether you're a leader or a follower or both, and often we're both, peer, as you really build a more complete positive playbook with each of your teammates, and that you're aware of what they care for, who they care for, where they want to go, how they like to work with you, and vice versa. Get to know their tells. It really is helpful, and then it provides you an opportunity to be more present, to look for those tells, and not in a manipulative way, of course, but in a highly connected kind of way that can advance agreement, advance connection, and it's a powerful consideration. A lot of experts in this. I'm certainly not one, certainly not a psychologist or neuroscientist, but there are many people that, if you want to dig in further on this, it's worth maybe doing a little bit of work to sharpen that skill as you're to be a great communicator, or even a little bit better communicator. One thing to be aware of, though, those are the little tells. Be aware also, if you're a leader, of the big tells, or even if you're a teammate, of the big tells. And the big tells are often a significant change in character. When you know someone, you see them do something, and all of a sudden they do something quite remarkably different that is out of character, typically a negative experience. Sometimes we go to what's wrong with them and how they've lost their way, or they're no longer motivated, or they don't care anymore, or they oftentimes it's a big tell that something is going on in their life that you can't see. Sometimes it's a work thing. They're having a big conflict with someone and you can't see it. More often than not, though, it's a personal thing. Something's going on in a relationship. It's a big health matter. They become fearful, worried, distracted about something. Look for the big tells. And very few of us are trained psychologists to do something. That's not our role. However, we can be great listeners, show compassion, notice and help connect those people to true experts that can help them, to help move them forward. So this idea of being able to have our antenna up, looking for the small tells, and every once in a while being aware of the big tells, really add to our ability to be present, to reinforce people first, to reinforce care, consideration, compassion, reinforce connect before content, reinforce great, not perfect leadership, and great peer-to-peer support. Those are the principles that matter. And it's not about whether we're there to be big fixers or not. That's not the point. We're there to help in a thoughtful, caring, compassionate way that connects them to the experts that can. Thank you, and for hanging out with us, for kicking around the idea of sharpening our skills as looking for the tells and to being present. And we look forward to seeing you again next Monday. As always, hang out with us on all our socials. You know all this stuff. And love to see you again soon on another lead in. Bye for now.